I'm filming this on Wednesday, March 18th. I'm not sure when I'm gonna upload this video. I've got some other projects, but it's a beautiful day here in Krakow, Poland. And Poland closed its borders 3 days ago for 10 days, I think. They say it's for 10 days. I'm not sure about that. Maybe it will last longer, but for now it's 10 days from March 15th to March 25th. The borders are closed, like a lot of cafes or takeout have only takeout options. So a lot of people are self-isolating, they work from home, but it's not like an official quarantine, at least for now, and you can walk around and there are no restrictions for walking around, hanging out whatsoever, just some necessary or not so necessary precautions to stop spreading the current virus. Very few people on the streets actually, which is super weird. A lot of bums and homeless people. That's one category. Also old people. And people, basically you can pigeonhole them into the category of people who speak foreign languages. So all the Russian locals, the Ukrainian locals, the British locals, maybe tourists, they're out. They're still living their lives. But the majority of Polish people, especially the middle-aged, tucked inside, presumably afraid of the virus. Who knows? And the weather is gorgeous. Spring is finally here, so actually sadly there are a lot of travel restrictions. You can't get in to Poland living here, but actually right now is a good time to visit because the weather is perfect. Nobody's on the street. Offspring is playing from some cafe. Despite the fears and panic, life's good here. It also shows how actually beautiful Krakow is, because a lot of the times it's fun for tourists, with locals, and loses a lot of its charm because of that. But it's quiet when there's good weather in Krakow and the streets are empty. It's actually pretty charming. And gradually we're approaching the main square, and I will show you how it looks on a Wednesday morning during a pandemic self-isolation period, should I say. Actually they're doing the road works, so probably a good time to fix the roads when there's nobody walking around, when there's not a lot of tourists and the weather is finally good. It's finally warm enough to do a lot of the road works. Ooh, the Clocktower. It's mostly old people, for some reason, homeless people, and a lot of pigeons. Yeah. Can you see how many pigeons there are? So that was the main square. Now let's see what's happening at the lesser square, the small square. I actually don't know how it is called, but it's like the second biggest square. And there it is, it's also empty. So I have left the historical city center and I'm walking around Planty. And they're actually painting. So for those of you that don't know what Planty is, it's like a park that circles around the historical city center here in Krakow, and it's kind of like a pedestrian / bicycle zone, but also a decent way to get around different parts of Krakow without inside the historical city center. So all of Krakow is like this right now, not a lot of people in general, partly because they're working from home. I believe there will be a little bit more people on the streets on the weekends, but also partly because when Polish people go out and people of Krakow go out, they go out to sites of nature, so you're actually gonna see much more people in a park by the river, or just like a city park or in the forest, and you're gonna see them on the streets. I think they're kind of taking precautions, and they believe that you can't catch the virus out in the nature because there's a lot of fresh air. My girlfriend was actually walking her dog and she went to a park that is not very frequented during the normal non-pandemic times. She said that it was chock full of people. This is actually a very famous Soviet supermarket here in Krakow. It's very Eastern European and not good. Calling it a supermarket is not entirely correct. It's more like a Soviet version of a shopping mall that was popular all around the Eastern Bloc of countries, as well as every USSR country. But I'm not here for that. I'm here to check out the famous castle of Krakow called the Wawel Castle, and to see how things are in this part of the town. And it's bucolic, idyllic, wonderfully empty. There are a lot more people here, even during the weekdays, but not today. So it's good. It's good to be a tourist right now, but you can't. Hey there. Nobody's around. Nobody's here. Probably because the castle is closed. But still, it's kind of a nice viewpoint, and it was worth getting out of breath while climbing here. Well, at least one thing is pretty clear to me, and that is that Krakow is definitely not the worst place to be in a lockdown. But I think we also need to visit a large supermarket to see what's going on in there, because I've heard that in some countries people are hoarding toilet paper, groceries and so on, and we need to take a look and see if this is the case here in Poland, or at least in Krakow. Actually, I don't know what to say anymore, because all I can say is that the streets are empty, and that gets pretty repetitive. Right now I'm outside of Kazimierz, which is a rather popular shopping center here in Krakow that I frequent, mostly because it's near the place where I live, and it's open. A lot of the shops inside are closed, but we're gonna take a look and see how it is from the inside. The drugstores, pharmacies, as well as grocery shops, little cafes and supermarkets are open, and they're open inside of the shopping centers, but a lot of the other stores, like clothing stores and stores selling different kind of stuff, they're closed. And sanitizers, they weren't here before, so it's a new addition. So, and as you can see, most of the shops are closed. Even the lottery is closed. Um, some are open. Groceries, a grocery kiosk that's open, but most other shops are closed. Mushrooms and greens, coconuts, paprika, peppers, tomatoes, potatoes, garlic and onions. As you can see, everything is readily available. There are a lot of vegetables, a lot of fresh stuff. Basically, there's no shortage of anything. Not a lot of people, like a lot less than you would expect on a weekday, but everything's working properly, just as it's business as usual. So all the vegan stuff is readily available, so you know, no shortage of food whatsoever. All the coffee is here, though it's a shitty selection, but that's usual. And as you can see, some grains are missing, but I think that's the only thing that's in short supply in this supermarket. And the holy grail of the recent mass hysteria, the toilet paper, readily available, tons of it. You can see toilet paper is readily available, there's no shortage whatsoever. All the jokes about shortage of toilet paper do not really work here in Krakow. It's here. A lot of toilet paper.
Repeat after me. I am the great Cornholio. I need TP for my bunghole.
I am the great portfolio. I need TP for my bunghole.
And this is the pharmacy, also open, not a lot of people inside. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, see you around at Not a Tourist, Not a Local YouTube channel. Take care.